Happy Friday, everybody. Yeah, it is the Friday before the holiday. This is probably going to be my last stream before, at least probably, I probably won't stream next week, maybe, but probably not. So this will be my last stream for a bit. I got my little helper dog. Well, okay, he just ducked down into the chair behind me, so you can't see him. But yeah, I think I am ready to work on some stuff. So, hey, everybody, I'm Joshua. This is my lunchtime game development stream. Lately, I've been working on a set of Quake tools to allow maps to be made in a 2D tile map editor, specifically tiled, and that will translate it over into a 3D Quake map. So let's take a look at that right now. So this is what my map looks like. It's a series of layers. So we have I guess I'll just call this, say, layout. So this is my floor layout layer. So it's basically all the structural stuff in the map. It's the floors, the walls, the ceilings, and then and this basically each tile has a 3D tile that represents what it should look like in the map. And my tool runs through this 2D tile and grabs the 3D tiles and slams them into 3D space appropriately, rotated and flipped and all that good stuff. And then I also have a few extra layers, and these layers are arbitrary. And all this does is it just adds in additional stuff right on top. So I have this layer just has some pillars that I just throw in. And then this layer adds in ceiling bits. So I have these bottom little right tags kind of represent ceiling bits, so I can still visualize the floor and the ceiling at the same time, hopefully. But yeah. And then lastly, I have an object layer. And then the object layer is just a bunch of entities that Quake recognizes. So if you just give it the name as the class name, and any custom properties will get transferred over to the Quake entity, pretty much whole cloth. And if I type, if I run my tool, let's go up to this is just a little batch script that runs my tool. It converts the 2D tile map into a 3D map, and then I run QBSP and then light, and then we get a Quake map out the other end, which is pretty rad. And it's I'm trying to keep my tool as fast as possible, so I want the iteration times to be pretty quick. That's the whole affordance that, well, I guess there's a couple of affordances that working in 2D tile maps give us, is that it's pretty easy to edit, and the barrier to entry is pretty darn low for 2D tile maps. So yeah, and I think I've mostly been playing around with, so last stream I've been playing around with allowing brushes to be defined as polygons, which is an interesting experiment. I thought it would be cool to have, like, so my initial impetus for this was being able to have trigger volumes set up for like level exits and teleporters. So if I turn on the bounding boxes, you will see that there is this infinitely tall and deep, not infinitely, but it hits the bounds of the Quake 3 space, trigger around this teleporter. And that is something that's not baked into the 3D tile, because that wouldn't be as useful. So being able to define brush entities in the tile map editor is useful, I think. And then also that's starting to lead me down the rabbit hole of this specific thing right here is actually a world spawn polygon that is being translated into world spawn. Right here. So I could, in theory, like just block off this whole part of the map. Or let me go view, snapping, snap to grid, and then I could snap it maybe to there, save, and now when I hit go, it'll wall off a large chunk of our map right in front of us. Yeah, so this new map here is created by that polygon that I drug out. And then I left this little bit around here so we can still get around it. But it's interesting, and I think it's another maybe a good thing to have, maybe. So I was kind of happy with that. And then after I streamed yesterday, I noticed you can just arbitrarily rotate these things, and I want to support that. So This is the Quake engine. This is not Delver. My Delver streams are over. We are basically in the last little bits of polish, and we'll be shipping Delver hopefully after the new year sometime when all the holiday sales are over. And I've been taking a break and just working on. I usually spend my lunch hours working on things that are not Delver. I did the roguelike lunch break for 50 episodes and made a Twitch playable roguelike over my lunch hour. And then I made VS Chess, and then I did some Delver streams for a while, and now I'm back to making just weird stuff over my lunch hour. As kind of like a creative endeavor. So yeah, so I want to be able to handle the arbitrary rotation of these rectangle polygons and do the right thing. And it shouldn't be terrible. I did some playing around yesterday, just kind of scoping out the problem. So these rectangles are defined with their origin here, which I thought was interesting, and also it applies to rotations too. So when I rotate it like this is still the origin. So I have to keep that in mind when doing like the matrices to make this work. Miluk says you can make doors from that, right? Maybe. So right now I have it hard coded so that these brushes, because it's 2D, I just assume that they are the Quake Z Max and Z Min tall. I could add some custom properties here that allow you to specify the top and bottom of the brush if people want that. I'm also looking at maybe playing around with, hopefully later this stream, playing around with, since I use Eric W's TierUtils QBSP, they have a prefab system in there. I want to see if I can, I don't think I have to do any extra work. I think I could just make it work with my system already. And that might be an interesting way to have prefabs that aren't aligned to the grid, and that might be a thing to explore as well. But yeah, so Midlook says you can make doors from that, right? Let's just try. Right? Enough talk, Josh. Let's just try. Let's do something like, let's make this more narrow, right? Because that's how doors work. And this needs to be a funk door. And it needs an angle property, which is a float. And I believe this is 0, so 90 would be the direction we want. I think that's probably it. Let me open up Trench Broom and just kind of tile 14 because what I want. Yes. So let's just look at the properties set on this door so we can kind of get some reasonable values. Angle and spawn flags. Funk door. So -1 is up, and because this is like infinitely tall, like not infinitely tall, but very tall, I don't think that'd be the right way to do it. So I'm gonna have it move to the side. And then texture, let's say it's texture a door. Can't select that, so let's just manually do it. So here, texture should be a door with 3_3. Is that right? A door 03_3. A door 03_3. Let's set view snapping to pixels. So this will roughly work like so. Let's try that. Let's save it and let's hit go. Hey, Seahawk Blue. Thanks for popping in. How are you? So this should be a door. Yep. Yeah, Midlook, that does work. Yeah. I'm kind of surprised that works as easy as that did. Maybe I shouldn't be. Yeah. Like I could slam some doors like right here. That'd be maybe a more realistic use case. So I can grab this and position it like right about there. 1, 2, 4. Okay, and then I can duplicate it and drag it down here. And then the angle on this one needs to be 270. Save and go. Fire away, Siak Blue. What's your question? Again, it's probably not ideal to make doors like this, but it is certainly a thing that can be done. Yeah, and you also get some weird results because it is clipping, if you notice at the top of the door, it's clipping into the skybox, so you get some weird shadows there where you think there ought not to be shadows. No biggie. Yeah, yeah, I'm happy that that works relatively okay. I am working, yeah, so again, at the top of the stream, I am working on a tool that you can build a 2D map in a 2D tile editor. This one in particular is called Tiled. That's the one I support. You build out a map, and my tool takes this map and 3D tiles and produces a Quake map. Yeah, that's my thing, is making a little tool to like kind of an experimental tool to make Quake maps. I don't think the Quake community has anything quite like this. There are some similar solutions in Unity, but I think 3D tile maps are cool. So yeah, so this just represents my level geo and different entities and stuff like that. But I want to let me undo all this stuff and get back to my world spawny thing, because I want to support. I would like to see, yeah, I want to support like this arbitrary rotation of brushes. So let's work on that. I kind of started thinking about it a little bit, and I think I have it kind of sort of stubbed out in my code. I just need to basically set up a rotation matrix, and that should be sufficient. We'll see. And also, I've been thinking too, like my tool is basically, it's only 2 files. I probably should at some point start refactoring and making this a little bit easier to work with. And there's just a lot of white space there. So VLon says, "Are you writing this in Python?" Yes. So for probably over a year now, in my free time, I've been working on a Python API for Quake, and the API is pretty mature at this point. Like I support pretty much all of the vanilla file formats for Quake in both read and write form. So now I decided to make a little utility that makes use of my API. But my API is a separate project. Nate Master Flash says, "Are you going to try to make another game after Delver ships?" I'd like to. I'd love to. But like that's dependent on a number of things. Like if Delver sells well, then I will have the financial resources to spend time working on another game of my own. But until then, or if it never happens, I've just been working on contract work to help support my family. I'd love to, but whether or not I have that opportunity, sooner or later, just kind of depends. Okay, so translation matrix EXEY. Cool, thank you, Velons. Yeah. Yeah, both this tool and my Python API are open source. So if you want to take a peek, you certainly may. Thank you, Nate Master Flash. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, I hope launch goes well. It's super scary. That's why we're waiting after all the sales are over, because we worry that if we released during the sale, that we most likely would have gotten like overlooked. Cool. Yeah. No, we are awfully close to full release. Like I think content-wise, we're done. We just need some polishing bits here and there, maybe a little promotional stuff. But yeah, for the most part, we're done. Just waiting on a good time to release, which feels good, but also it's kind of like it's a little nerve-wracking because like yeah, this release means a lot to me, like both personally and professionally, I suppose. Okay, so okay, this could be left plus width, and this could be up minus height. That should still yield the same results. Or not. Did not save my map. Save. Nope. Neki, is Delver featured in the sale? I think Steam actually has a requirement of us not to go on sale 30 days prior to our release, I believe. Don't quote me on that though, but I think Steam does have some stipulations about sales and release and stuff like that. And I just don't think we would want to go on sale before we release. Interesting. Yeah, Seahawk Blue. I try to stream every noon. I try to Monday through Friday. I stream over my lunch hour, which is 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Okay, so we have this, and what I want to set up is, okay. So now, so the EX and EY are the translation parts, and I'm putting this in my translation matrix. So what I need to do is just make this 0 and 0 because we'll be transforming this by that. So now we need to run. So basically I have this little xform point method that just runs a point through this matrix, and then it does the whole, because you use four-dimensional matrices to apply transformations of three-dimensional vectors. You have to kind of pad the vector by a W component. So this handles the padding of the W component and the stripping of the W component, and returns it back as a tuple, as is what I expect. So then I should be able to just look at all these points and just process them. So I could say something like p.points is equal to map of xform point and p.points. This should do it, right? Just want to map this function across this. Let me just take a sanity check real quick and take a look at that. Yeah, Neki, we're trying to release sometime after the first of the year. Hopefully, the sooner the better. But again, we don't really have a firm release date. We set a firm line as this past Thanksgiving, which was November. I think November 23rd was the last day that any major feature work had to get in. And then we're giving some time to kind of just sit a little bit, and then we're going to hopefully start getting some beta builds out for folks to make sure that there's no big world-ending bugs. Step. Okay. Yep. So these points, yeah. And then, oh yeah. Joshua. Yeah. Yeah, in Python 3, the map object is kind of like an on-demand thing, so you don't actually get back a sequence unless you specifically ask for it. So that's a thing. Okay, how about now? Sure, that sounds right. 540 and 612, are those reasonable chords? I think. I mean, there's a scale factor in between a tilet and, yeah. So let's just try that. Let's just say, just copy and paste this to all my points. Okay, save and go. Cool, so it is, yes, it is where I expect it to be. Now the question is, I also tried to hook up the rotation as well. So let's just try rotating this this thing. Can I snap it to, yeah, say 45, save, and go. Um, Interesting. That is not what I expected. It appears to be. I wonder if it's order of ops? Because I'm pretty sure that should be the origin. Maybe? Maybe I need to confirm some of this stuff. Okay. Debug. Okay, so it is saying the origin. So the object X is what? 647 and 267. So 647. Is this even the right entity? What entity is this? Oh, this is probably my teleporter, Joshua. Real quick, let's look at obj.name, and I bet you it's probably my trigger change level. Yes. How about now? Is this the correct thing I am expecting it to be? This should be my world spawn entity. Yes, it is. Okay, so then the obj X is 176 and 345. So 176, 345. So it looks like it's the top. Okay, so did I? Okay. So if I zero out the rotation, yeah. So that's where it looks like it ended up, but it didn't actually. Do I need to flip the order of ops on the matrix? Is what I'm thinking I might need to do. Because typically you rotate first and then translate. Let's take a look. Yeah, so I'm doing, yeah, so I'm seeing my matrix, the translation matrix. That should be right. Again, so let me try to position this. Okay, so the origin is halfway through that tile. Actually, let me just put this out. Let me just build a new space for this to live so I can kind of better see what's going on. So let's go to our layout. Let's just grab this tile and let's just put ourselves let's just build ourselves just a little room here that we can breathe in and work in. Okay. So this should be snap to pixels. Something like this should be centered right in the middle of this room, but I have a suspicion it's going to be over here. Let's check. Save. And go. Weird Constructor says, wow, the tile map came quite complicated. Yeah, it has. So it looks like it's off by a factor of. Oh, am I still offsetting it by like 64 or something like that? I think I am, and I think that's not correct. But for the rotation, so if I zero out the rotation, quit. The tile map is, yeah, it's slightly more complicated. But if you think about it, like you can turn off like. So this is what it looked like mostly at the start, where it's just a 2D tile map with a layout, and then I have some additive layers. So I can add in some extra geo to slam it on top. And then I also added in an entity layer where I can add Quake entities. Yeah, so the generated levels looks, yeah. So again, there are drawbacks to this approach. It's not going to give you a handmade Quake level feel, but hopefully, I think you can make something interesting in it, which I hope to be the case. So let me see if I can just rotate this back. The rotation is 0. Okay. Save and go. Thank you. Yeah, no, I view it the same way. I view it as just a different style of map. So this one is centered as I would expect. Is it, Joshua? Is it? Yeah, it's in fact, yeah, kind of view, snapping to grid. Save, go. Yeah, and also part of this look too is just the fact that I haven't really put a lot of effort into making good looking tiles, I think. Okay. So here, I think the origin of this particular polygon should be up here in the top left, which is 192 and 288. Does that agree with what I suspect it to be? 128. So let me see. The object X is object X is 192 and 288. That is correct. That is the not Utrinch broom. That is the top left chord here. Okay. Cool. So let's try. Let's try rotating it by 45, and then I can carefully position. So I can position. Oh wait. Oh no. So if I rotate it 45, I should be able to position this right there. So hopefully that helps me identify what's off with my translation matrix. Maybe. Actually, I should pull it down here because I think it's going to be off by a factor, and I just need to see how big that factor is and why. Yeah, that's interesting. So it looks to be aligned on the boundary of that tile, and top is aligned to that tile. Is that correct? Okay, so it looks like I think this is 3 tiles. So yeah, let me see. So I think the actual is right. The actual is right here. I would say. Oh. Thank you. Yeah, no, I definitely do. I am guilty of like grabbing my chin and doing yeah, the Q think. My goodness. Yeah. Yeah, I worry that a lot of my streams are me just going. But hopefully talking through the problem helps me fix it, maybe. Question. Is it rotating the wrong direction? Is it rotating if I make so if I flip the sign, is that what's happening? Is it rotating just counter to what I think it's doing? Is it just that simple? Let's look at that. So how about negative object rotation? Go. Yay! Yes, perfect. Well, seems to be working. So now let's try. Making this like skinnier, like that. Maybe aligning it. Try to make this. Um, I don't know. Is that there? We that's close-ish. Save and go. Yeah, no, like having these little breakthroughs is nice. Let's just. Oh no! Oh no! What are you doing? What are you doing? Quit. Did my tool fail? Is my question. Failed to load basic.tmx. What? Go. Why is it failing to load now? Error failed to load basic.tmx. Debug? Okay, let me see. Control F. Failed to load. Okay. So is this hopefully this accept exception as E? Print E? Invalid literal int for base width 10. What? Where are you coming from? I think there should be some look. Oh, I think I actually been hacking the library I use a little bit. Um, uh, um, Actually, so let's do this. Let's actually let's do this. Let's undo. Undo. Let's let that exception fly and see what happens. Go. Yeah. I think I did hack this. Oh man. So hacking your third party dependency is danger zone. But I think I have been doing it. Let me make a note of that because actually let me just make up here cool notes TMX Python module has okay, this is show it to me. This is tmx.in. Is it just a single init file? Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. And then I'm going to change what the lines 373 through 376. Okay, and then let's go ahead and just fix these real quick. Float. Yeah. Yep, that's what we want. And I don't want to put a breakpoint there. Stop. Cool. Cool. Let me see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, there is definitely an active Quake community. I've been lurking. I've been lurking in the Quake community since late 2015, and it's only recently I've finally gathered up the nerve to actually start sharing what I've been working on. Um, cool. Float, 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 float. That should work. Let's go down here, and then let's just make sure that that solves the exception we're seeing. Yeah, it does. Cool. And then we can just add this wrap again. Let me see. Quake, yeah, Quake. They're both modders and mappers, and it's still pretty vibrant. I think for this year alone, they've put out 100 new maps for Quake, which is pretty rad, or at least pretty close to 100. I'm not quite sure. Uh, the the Quake folks listening and the viewers right now, they could better comment on the stuff. I think we really should have some sort of like Quake, not like a Kako award, but like a year-end review, just kind of touching on some of the cool stuff that happened in the scene over the past year, so people know that we're not dead and that there is still really cool stuff happening in Quake. Yeah, I personally use Quake Spasm, because I think it is it has good support for a lot of new features, but also I can still make it look like Quake, and I really appreciate that. I like the aesthetic of Quake. So let's try this. Uh, Clear, go. Yeah, I think Mark V looks interesting, but I think it's more along the lines of making it fancy and feeling modern. Yeah! Oh man, now we can slam down rectangle brushes like a fool. So I could, in theory, just like make a whole bunch of these arbitrarily, or the more appropriate thing would be use them as triggers. But yeah, that's rad. Let's commit what I have. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, and let's try to um, let's do a git diff and see what I've actually changed to make sure it's not too ugly. But I do need to do a refactor sometime soon before this gets just totally unmanageable. Let's see, what files have I changed? Just this. Git diff. Git diff. Okay, yeah. So this is my note to self. Yeah. Yep. And then, cool. Easy peasy. Should I bump the version on this? This is a new feature. Yeah. I think let's just go ahead and bump this to version 6 or 060 because this is a cool feature. Yeah, clear git status. Then let's just add this one. Git add. Yeah, no, I understand the feeling. Like for me, like the older you get, the weirder time is. Like to me, like even like 2000 doesn't feel that long ago, but I know it's been 17 years, which is mind-boggling. Um, I guess it feels like a while ago, but it doesn't feel like 17 years. Cool. Git commit dash m. Support for rectangle object brushes. Yeah, cool. I think I feel like I should make an example of that maybe in the basic. Yeah. Yep, yeah, Mucker. No, I get it. Yeah, like for me, within the past 5 years, I have moved across the country, gotten married, bought a house, and I will have had 2 children here in a couple months. So like, yeah, like life just speeds up crazy fast. Okay, so let's look real quick. Let's take a look at should the basic example. I think the basic example should have one of these just to highlight that you can have objects and maybe so file open examples basic TMX, and let's just add um, I can just add just a basic, I guess, world spawn. That would be fine, right? That'd be a thing. No, I am so grateful that I have children. I guess to be, I guess, a little. Hopefully, this isn't too much sharing too much information, but um, my wife and I thought we weren't going to be able to have children, and we are expecting number two, which is amazing because it's yeah, it's scary when people tell when doctors tell you that like your likelihood of having children is like not impossible, but very unlikely. So yeah, they are a blessing. Um, yeah, thank you. Yeah, my second son will be born in February. So I will probably be like from like February, March, April. I will probably like disappear from the world for a while, but that's probably okay. Um, I just want to add a world spawn chunk somewhere. So let's add in a rectangle entity. We'll just start here, make it bad, and then I'll find a cool place to put it. So name is world spawn. Let's open up Trench Broom and look at some of these open basic 3D tiles. Let's look at tile 0. Yeah, floor underscore mid is the texture I want to throw on there. So let's do that. Custom prop texture and string. And then this should just be floor underscore mid. I don't want that one, but I do want to do something with this world spawn. Just slam it in somewhere that looks interesting, I guess. Like trying to find a decent use case for it. Because I do want to try to highlight the features in an interesting way at least, without it just being like arbitrary. Or maybe arbitrary is okay. I don't know. What about maybe just like a small pillars, I guess, are a thing I can do with this. Actually, I think I can manually type in the dimensions of this thing. So let's go 0. And so if I say 16 by 16, then rotation of 45, that should get me close to where I want to be. Select this, maybe position it up there. As like a small pillar, and I could duplicate it and then slide it up here. Maybe that's. I mean, it's still somewhat contrived, but maybe hopefully less so. Save, and then let's modify my little batch file real quick. So Control H, basic 2 with basic, place all, save, and up to games Quake, go. And then we should have just these really big pillars, like yeah, right there. So I kind of want to make them like a nice contrasty color, so maybe making them that dark color I think would make more sense because they just kind of blur in there. Let's do wall underscore 0. I was really, I don't know, my naming conventions on these weren't super great, but wall underscore 0. wall underscore 0, save, and then I like doing this with this basic one, just doing like a dirt debug. Go. Yeah, just so it just picks up some of the geometry just a little bit better. Yeah, nice. So I think that this is an okay use case for being able to just slam down very simple brushes. And also, yeah, so I think including this example is probably useful for folks. Nice. Quit. Yeah, so let's go up to our repositories. Quake, nope, CD repositories, tmx to map, and then git status. And I've changed just this. Yeah, so rm-rf examples basic output. Cool. And then git add that file and git commit -m, adding rectangle object to basic example. Git push. Cool. And I think it would be kind of interesting / wild to support like these, like a circle could be cool. I don't know if people would actually use it or not. Again, it's only in this along the z-axis, and also like these like you can just randomly throw down. Ooh, thank you. So at least with this polygon tool, they don't allow you to do they allow you to do self-intersection? They do allow self-intersection. I'm gonna say like they looks like they're trying to prevent bad polygons, but it would be cool to make brushes like that maybe, but that would be work. That'd be a lot of work. Another thing I think would be interesting is yeah, so J. Mickle, yeah, so Jazz is completely correct. So like triangulating something like this is tricky but not bad, but triangulating like that is a little bit more problematic. Exactly. Miblik is saying, yeah, exactly. Like, and yeah, like I do need to like until people actually use this. Like, people aren't using the tool, so a lot of this, I mean, maybe I should stop working on it. I don't know. Like, I'm enjoying what I work on, so hopefully that's all right. But yeah, like until people actually start using it, maybe don't go for some of these crazy features. I think something that would be interesting is let's just try the last 10 minutes here, try to prototype out using the QBSP, the version of QBSP that I use supports a prefab system. And maybe we'll play around with that. So file recent, this one. Yeah, here we go. Actually, just for giggles too, I'm going to duplicate that and rotate it. Nice. And then let's go back here and let's undo these changes. I should have reverted my, yep, save. Go up to games, Quake, go. Just to make sure that it is doing what I think I'm doing. I should have that weird little plus brush over here. Yep, nice, 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 nice. Quit. All right. But I would like to play around with prefabs and see if I can get those going. I think you have to do something like you insert a tile entity, which is something I wasn't quite aware of, but you can. So I can just drop one of those down, and this is just like a a tile entity, and apparently you can scale these and rotate them arbitrarily. Jazz is asking, did I ever figure out what is up with the weird artifacts I'm getting in my map? Short answer, no. I do not know what's going on with that. Like, I think it might be just some of these like these settings here for like the lighting, like bounce and basic. I could try. I can look at again at the light page and see if bounce. Is there any? Yeah, I'm just not sure. Like, I think if I turn off bounce, I think it'll correct it. Maybe. Let's see. Go. But it's gonna be a heck of a lot darker. Is the only thing. No, we still seem to be getting artifacts. Yeah, we still are getting artifacts even without the bounce. So is it because, I wonder if it's because that the brushes intersect these brushes intersect the skybox, or there's little, like, some of these brushes have little bits of skybox above them. Does that, like, so it's right here. Yeah, so I wonder if it is like these are the culprits because they have these like little bits of sky up here. I mean, I could, let me try to sealing those off real quick and see if I get better results. So let's file, open, examples, basic 2, 3D tiles. This should be tile 0, 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, I think is the one that might be the culprit. So let's open up tile 17. Yeah, so let's just try as an experiment doing something like this. Okay, so this should make them flush with one another. I don't necessarily know if I like the look per se. That can be quickly fixed though. Yeah, just make it maybe thinner. I don't know. Then maybe just make it that metal, I guess. Mets. This one. It's not the worst in the world, so let's save it and then let's run it again. Go. No, I am still getting artifacts. Let me look at this sky too. Quit. So I think there may be an issue with file open 16. Actually, real quick, let me just take a look at tile 4. This is the open floor tile, and if I were to, as I duplicate this, I think it's 256. Yeah, it's 256 to the sky. So if we look at tile 16, I think I have some stuff that clips into the skybox, and that's probably not great. Let's just add a new brush real quick. Is there an easy way to position this at 0, 0? It seems like sometimes just Quake Spasm just throws brushes like it's kind of hard to predict where they're going to get land in the 3D world until like I start spinning around them frantically. Okay, like this, and make this 256 tall. Okay, so anything that exceeds this is going to be clipping into the skybox, so maybe that's an issue. Let's do something like that. And yeah, let's just try to maybe tidy this up. 4. Okay, so maybe that will help. I am not sure. Maybe let's also just pull these. Just is it better they? Yeah, maybe it's better they clip. I don't know. We will see. Go. It's still there. But there shouldn't be any sky above these bits now. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, but there's sky here, but that's acceptable. Yeah, I don't know. Strange. I don't know, Jess. I don't know. So Neki is saying, I'm using the latest version of Eric W's tools. Yeah, I am fairly confident. Is there a version flag? Q BSP BSP-V 1511. So yeah, I think I have the latest version. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's all right. Also, this does wrap up roughly my hour of dev. So let's close this out. Yeah, but I think I made some good changes today. It's nice having support for at least defining just rectangular brushes and at least setting those up for like triggers, like having like just being able to have like a trigger change level or setting up teleporters this way is super useful because trying to like otherwise you'd have to either manually edit the map or bake in predefined exits, which is not great, right? So having these sorts of triggers is cool. Having world spawn is also cool, but maybe less useful. What do you think? So yeah, so let's just go ahead and wrap it up here. I've been streaming for about an hour or so. I think I can ask my bot, right? Uptime. Hour and a minute and 31 seconds. Okay, cool. So hey, I'm Joshua. This has been my game development lunch hour thing where I work on projects that are either directly game dev or game dev adjacent to like tools and stuff like that. I think I find interesting in that space. I like art and I like programming and I like where those things come together. So that's where I like to work. I do this every Monday through Friday at noon Pacific Standard Time. I will be taking off next week because next week are the holidays. But I might sneak in a stream or two. Who knows? I have a Discord server where I talk about my projects that I work on. So the channels in the project align to the channels in the server align to the projects that I'm working on. So this is under the hashtag Quake Tools channel. You can find stuff for Delver and my lunch break roguelike and other things in the past. There's also there is a channel for what my viewers are working on because my viewers happen to be very talented folks and they are like creative and it's really cool to see what you are working on. So please feel free to share your stuff in the show and tell channel. That really helps motivate me. I also somehow am a Twitch affiliate, so that means you can throw a subscription my way or bits. I'm not going to get rich, but I consider it like a tip jar. So if you find what I do entertaining or educational, or you just want to see more of it, that would mean the world to me. If you're a Twitch Prime person, you can think you get a free sub a month, so you can throw it my way. There are 8 lovely people that have decided to do this and support what I do over my lunch hour. And I'd love to stream more, and maybe I can sneak in some more, who knows. But in no particular order, my 8 lovely subscribers are Smith, Dr. Kegel, Neil Slichter, Bill the Dill, Nix Rod, Johnny Law, and Shamblinot. Thank you so much for supporting me. I think Fifth Elephant may be a subscriber. I think I need to update my my list here. Apologies if I got your name incorrect. But yeah, thank you for your support, and I will see you probably after the holidays. So have a good rest of your week, year, everyone.